What is up, everyone? Today I wanted to do another topic. It's one that I visited before, but this time I wanted to do it again because I talked to so many people about this topic. The secret to getting cargo van loads, part 2, as an owner-operator with your own authority. This is Seth Leroy Hustle Adventures. Let's get right into it. Now, this first one that I've talked to a lot of people about, looking up on Indeed. Owner operator, look for not forced dispatch if you have your own authority. That's what I look for. I don't want, that was the whole point of doing this, like I've said before, or else I would have just, went back to truck driving. So that's what I do. I mean, it's all over your area. I think, okay, I found my first load on my own on a load board, going to California. Came back, was looking for more. I was putting in so many phone calls. So then I was like, let me just see what this is about. Applied for like 30 of them, all over the place. Had a couple calls that were awful. And I'm like, no, like what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, pretty much you could tell it was like a job. I'm like, that's the whole opposite of what I wanted to do. I wanted to control my own schedule. And then find some that were not like that, where it was just no obligation. There's so many people that have a bunch of dispatchers. You know what I mean? But I don't know, that's my point is, like, there's so much opportunities on Indeed that it's like, people keep saying, how do you get loaded? How do you get loaded? There's so many ways to get loaded. That's why it's a big question. It's like a loaded question. So like next, logistic companies. Look up all of them in your area. That's what I did. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Chicago, like all the areas. And then you just call them. They, you can get a carrier packet where you fill it out so you can carry for them, but also you can just get emailed. Some of them just wanted the dimensions, this, that, and the other, and then here and there you'll get one in an email. Some places are better than others, but you just have to go out there and do that as well. Hand out your business cards. I had a place I used to work for, handing out business cards. Boom, got not a bunch of work, but quite a bit. That's what I'm saying, like, the business cards were super cheap too. Like, you have to be full force in this, like, everything Apex says, like, when he was talking about it, he said it's a lifestyle. And that's 100% true. Like, if you're going to get into this, a lot of people, I think, want to get into it. And they're just like, oh, it sounds so fun. I'm going to drive around and be my own boss. But, like, you have to get into the lifestyle. Then you'll find your balance. And it's still a lifestyle. But you get what I'm saying. Like, that's why I send people my How to Find Loads video. And I have a thing that I copy and paste with all these avenues but I just wanted to make another one to, like, I wrote things down. The first time I didn't write things down. And then next, after all these things and you're starting to get runs, you're getting a dispatcher, you're getting carrier packets, you're getting logistics companies, you're handing out your business card, getting some local work. That I need to do way more of. I didn't do a lot of that. I did just really local, but if I went crazy handing them out and being cool and not acting desperate, that's why I talked about that in my other video. Just go in there and say, I provide a service, I got this much of, always know your cargo space. But this one, have great service and work hard. That's the thing too, like, any dispatcher I've worked for, any company I work for, I'm always just, I'm on time, way more than on time. I'm just always punctual. You have to work hard to continue it, because, like, if you just suck, and, like, brokers, dispatchers, people are gonna know, like, if you're just lollygagging around, you're going out to sit and eat all night, or you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, they just know, Some of them track you, some of them don't. So that's the thing too. I mean, even when I'm not tracked, that's the thing, like, this does not just start at that point. It's not just like, oh, you found loads, you're done. No, that's like the part where now it started. Realistically, do what others won't do. Like, I'll do what other drivers won't do, but in a respectful way. And like I said, not being desperate. I just will, hard work. That's the whole point of this. You want to be your own boss. The next thing I said, you have to grind. And that's why I'm saying there's all these other avenues, and I have a lot of people, and I love it. I love talking to people. But I say these things over and over again. You have to grind. You have to get your name out there. You have to hand out business cards, carrier packets, logistics companies, owner-operator on Indeed. Like, that's what I mean. You have to just go do it. Like, that's the thing, too. Like I've said in other videos, it's hard because... And that's why I still watch YouTubers. Like, I'm going to always watch them in this industry because I want to keep learning. And that's I'm big on that. Just constantly learning, remaining humble. Like even if I feel like I have the way I like it right now, it doesn't matter. It's always about growing and learning. So that's the thing too. Like so, it's I'm not saying not to like engage in like it's just you got to go out there and hustle. Like my first month and a half in this, I didn't watch any YouTubers, and then I finally started figuring it out, and then I started watching them again to gain more perspective, more knowledge in this field, in this industry. But the reason I say that is because I wasn't sitting there just like saying, how do I get this? How do I do this? How do I do this? I literally didn't watch any for about a month and a half. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I was just like, okay, I have the van now. I'm going to call every day. I'm going to get the load boards. I had got 3. I was like, yeah. So, and load boards are not what I get them on a lot at all. Like, so that's the thing. It's mainly about word of mouth, getting your name out there, and getting good dispatchers that are just like no obligations, And there's so many dispatching companies. There's so many. Like I said, I applied to like 40 of them when I started looking for them. And that's a grind too, because you have to sit there and and then when you finally do it, you have to fill out all this other stuff. So like that's the thing. But that's why I interviewed them. Like I talked about talking to them. It's like it needs to be mutual. Like I wanted to make sure how it was going to be. Like, and obviously you never know. But so next, be humble, ask questions. I already went over that. Getting loads is just a start. I already went over that. I see, and I didn't even. These are down on the list. Internet is your best friend. That's the thing too. Like a lot of times when people ask me all these questions, I just say go on the internet because. That's where a lot of these opportunities are. There's still some, and like word of mouth or just talking to people like I said, when I got my oil change done and they did it for free, and then it turned out because he was like, oh, I've been up all night. I was like, what did you do? And then he's like, oh, I work for a courier business in my Jeep too. And then that's when we started small talking. He said they like move TVs, and he said, oh, with your big cargo van, you can move a bunch of TVs. That's what I'm saying. And I haven't went that avenue yet, but I do want to. Like, who knows? And that's a local gig. He said they barely go far ever, and they're always looking for owner operators. There's people who drive for the company too, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just and then he handed me his business card because he's a realtor too, and then I handed him mine. So that's what I mean. It's just you have to just get out there and do what you need to do. Don't wait for loads is the next thing I wrote. And that's what I'm talking about. Like a lot of people are like, where's the loads? Where's the loads? On those groups and, on the load boards. The loads suck on here. Okay, well then what are you doing? Move on. Go look. Go to business. Like that's why I said I was literally going to businesses saying, I'm here. And I only had one that really worked with me, and then another one wanted to, but didn't pan out, and then I got busy. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if that was the case, I'd be going to every business. And like I said, not acting desperate, just saying, and I would call them first. That's what I was doing. Call them, say, hey, I was just wondering if I could come in, talk to someone, give my business card, stuff like that. I just didn't show up because that could be taken, I think, as a little weird. But not all places would care. So then never be content. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Never just be like, okay, because I know a lot of people, they'll just get some dispatchers and they're just like, I'm done. Like, okay, so then what happens when that falls through? You have to have other avenues. Or what happens if it's not working? Because I know that with dispatchers and brokers, or just companies have told me like there's some bad drivers that they have to break ties with a lot. Understanding the industry, and that's why me and my wife are really into it. She's been training dispatching too for a company because she dispatches me, but then she's also going to do that too. So helping me find other loads and stuff. So that's what she's done too. Before we were finding more dispatchers and other things. But that's more avenues, not being content and just getting to know the industry more. You got to be all in. Like I said, everything Apex says, it's a lifestyle, and he's the main one I watch now. So understanding the industry, learn from your mistakes. And that's the thing too. I think a lot of people just freak out, get all mad, and they're upset. Oh, the broker did this, the dispatcher did this, but you have to learn from it. And that's why, like, I'll always say my part in it. I was like, well, I shouldn't have probably went that way, or I shouldn't have done that. Or in the end, I was too picky on runs that I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, you have to learn from your mistakes. in this industry, or you're going to be out of the industry. That's what I hear, is that like most people leave it because it's too stressful, because it is. It can get stressful, but you have to like be willing to be humble and learn and blame yourself. It's all about accountability with me and my recovery program, so I bring it into this, all facets, principles, and all my life and all my life. No one will find you loads, and that's what I mean. Even like with dispatching or these logistics teams that send you them, they're still like, yeah, they're finding them, but like you have to do the hustle part to get them, to be like yes, to do them, to be on time, to be a good driver, because you're not going to make it if you suck. That's what I mean. Like no one's going to literally like just, here you go and here's the business and you're going to make it. Like no, that's like the start of it. From what I've seen doing this only 3.5 months or whatever it's been. It's not, it's just the beginning. If you can't grind, this won't work. And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if you guys watched when I got my oil changed and got my tire fixed, like I'm constantly writing things down, looking things up, like, and I do, my family time is great too, like how we found where I go out 4 days, make the 1,200 profit, and then come home, and then I have my home time for 3 days. And then today, I took 2 days off because of a snowstorm. And we're going to go sledding. And that's what I mean, though. That's why I do like being my own boss, because, like, you know, stuff like that, that's a thing. And, like, if I want a huge vacation, we've talked about just going out for, like, a month and then coming back and going on a vacation for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So, that's for another day. And another thing that I wrote down that Everything Apex said in one of his videos I watched was just there's so many variables, locations, rates, cities. So like to me it's hard because when people say, oh, what about this? I'm like, well, where do you live? Do you live by any major cities? You know, depending on the rates, because like, you know, between cities and states and what you want. Like some people be like, I just want it to be 200 miles, or and then I keep it real. I'll be like, that's not going to work. And the reason I bring that up for this secret to getting cargo van loads and stuff, because like before you do it and before you get into this industry and before you need to really like think about what you want, because if you want something unrealistic seeming, because like I'm regional and I travel around, but I sleep in my van, you know, I stay out 4 days, that's working for us, but that's because we're in the Midwest and I literally live right next to Minneapolis. You know what I'm saying? So like for everyone it could be different, but that's why I'm saying it's such a broad question. Like you need to know your area. All we knew when we started this business was the Midwest we heard was good from all the research we did. So that's why we did it, you know? But other than that, it was terrifying. Like I said, the first 2 months, like I was doing nothing but grind, finding loads on the load board, but it wasn't enough to me. So obviously, yeah, that's what I mean by you always have to expand. But like the secret to getting loads is you. The secret to getting loads is you and your hustle. And like I said, I love answering questions. Like, I think on those sites, maybe here and there, I said, how do people get loads? But I think I just stopped because, you know, no one really said anything. And understandably, now that I've been doing it, I get it. Like, but some people give insight. Like, there's good YouTubers that would give insight. But that's what I mean. It's just like, it's you. It's up to you. How much you're going to grind. And like, a lot of it too is so on the internet that you can just... You have to just do that all day and figure it out. Like that's the thing too and it all depends on what you want. That's why I said there's no, you know, this is how you bake the cake. It's like when you're an owner operator with your own authority, then you bake the cake with the ingredients you want. So that's it for this. That's my part 2. I'm gonna do these here and there just to, you know, do them. Just to update people on things that I've learned in the industry so far. And like I said, I'm always humble and I want to learn more, and that's what I do. So anyways, you guys have a great day, a beautiful day. It's snowing here in Minnesota. We're going to take the kids sledding. And like, share, subscribe if you want. Hit the bell notification if you want. And thanks for watching. Go hustle. It's on you.